So, I saw a video of Jalen Williams, forward for the Oklahoma City Thunder, talk about the NBA Defensive Player of the Year award and how the league should possibly start giving out 2 Defensive Player of the Year awards. And the way he broke it down, I'm not even going to lie, it made a lot of sense. So I'm going to play the audio and then I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions on the topic.
I think they should add 13, and I think there should be 2 Defensive Player of the Years.
Oh, interesting.
I got a lot to say about the rules. And this is not a diss to any big that gets it, because every big that has gotten it is deserving. Rudy.
Jaren.
Yeah, Jaren. But defense is very, different for certain players. I can be a really good defender without averaging the most steals. Herb Jones is not, first in steals. But if you ask everybody around the NBA who one of the best defenders in the league is, he's going to be in the top 5 conversation. So it's I think if you have a big and a guard defensive.
So you want 2, you want a but they have to be. You can't have 2 bigs get it.
Yeah, it would be
you couldn't do.
Guard.
You couldn't do
they do 2 different things. It's just a big every year, and I feel like it's just based on blocks. A guard's never had to protect the paint.
Yeah.
Bigs never had to chase a pin down.
And the way y'all see how he broke it down. He broke it down extremely perfectly. So J-Dub, man, he really raised a great important point in terms of individual defense and perimeter defensive players not really getting the shine and notoriety that they deserve. I always talk about this. If you see my previous video on Victor Wembanyama and my video I did a couple weeks ago on the Orlando Magic, these voters who vote for the Defensive Player of the Year award, these people only look at steals and blocks. This is just such a numbers game league for some reason. That's the only way they measure defense. They don't look at a player who is good at making another star player shoot low field goal percentage, forcing the player to turn over the ball, make bad passes, beating the player to their spot. The little things that don't show up on the stat sheet. I swear these voters don't really watch the games. I'm telling y'all. They just look at the stats. They really just look at the stats. But I do agree with him in terms of the NBA having a third all-defensive team, because they have a third all-NBA team, and I think it would just be good to implement that. But although he broke down his reason why the NBA should have 2 Defensive Player of the Year awards, I'm not going to lie, I just don't agree with that. But I see his point. I do understand where he's coming from. But Oklahoma City, they're a great defensive team. Jalen Williams, he's really up there as one of the best perimeter defenders. And he really is one of the best defensive players in the league. And he should be up there in the Defensive Player of the Year award. But I do think Wemby, he is that rare breed of centers who can still guard in perimeter, unlike Rudy Gobert. And some people think I don't like Rudy, but it's just the fact that this guy has 4 Defensive Player of the Year awards, and he cannot guard anybody outside the paint. Even if it's not even a star player, if Rudy's on the perimeter, he's getting cooked. They don't do that with Wemby, because Wemby, he has good footwork and lateral movement where he's good, and he's good enough to guard guards and other great forwards on the perimeter. He's a different breed, and he does accumulate a lot of blocks. But even the games where he's not getting a lot of blocks, you see how good of a defensive player he is. And even Dyson on the Hawks, he gets a lot of steals, but even the games where he's not getting a lot of steals, that dude locks people up. Herb Jones is up there, of course. I love the way he plays defense, and he's not even, again, up there in steals per game, like he said, but yeah, he's still a great defender. So I'm gonna pull. I saw this amazing stat. It's crazy how all these stats exist, but it's the toughest defenders to shoot over. Field goal percentage allowed on 2-pointers this season so far, and as we see, number 1 is Victor Wembanyama, and number 2 is Jalen Williams. Again, Jalen Williams, he's a guard forward. He's really a wing. He switches between the 3 and the 4, And look at that. He's only 6'5", and he makes it so tough for other players to score on him, man. That dude gives his all on the defensive end, and he's a real. His game is coming along offensively. There's no reason. He's definitely one of the reasons why. I mean, Oklahoma City Thunder is a #1 seed in the Western Conference. He should be up there in most improved player as well, because his offensive game is just as good as his defensive game. But yeah, he's one of the best defenders in the league, man. Even Goga, if you see my video on the Orlando Magic, a lot of players on that team are great defensively. The Orlando Magic, like I said, they're one of the best defensive teams, man. I love the way they play, and look at their again, stats don't mean everything, but look at where their team overall ranks. 6th in steals, 2nd in blocks. And if you see my previous video on that, I said a lot of players on the Orlando Magic, at least 2 to 3 will make the all defensive team. Jalen Suggs made the all defensive team. Last season he made the 2nd team, as we see, and I have Goga and Jalen Suggs making the 1st or 2nd defense team this season, because that team, they lock up, man. That team plays great defense. But that's one thing I hate about the Defensive Player of the Year award. These people only look at blocks, man. I wonder why that is. In my opinion, with the voting, I believe they should go back to players voting for these league awards. Players should vote for the All-NBA, All-Defensive, 6-Man, MVP, Rookie of the Year, because I swear to God, man, I really don't think these voters watch the games. These voters do not watch the games, man. Lou Dort, as great as a defender he is, he never even made an all-defensive team, yo. That is crazy work. That doesn't make any sense. I just wanted to show this clip of Lou Dort playing great defense. Look how he was guarding Luka. Look how he runs all the way to the other side to contest Klay Thompson with the great closeout. This is the stuff I'm saying. The stuff that doesn't show up on the stat sheet. And Lou Dort, again, he never made a defense team. Not even an all-second defensive team. That's insane work. One of the best wing guard defenders. I'm telling you, OKC, man, that team is scary. They came close last season. Ironically, they almost beat Dallas in the postseason last year. But yeah, this team, man, that team is real good defensively. They have a lot of other players that can play. And I wanted to show some clips of Herb Jones. He always picks up the opposing team best wing player. Look at on Jaylen Brown, one of the best players. A few seasons ago on KD. Look at that, making it tough for the other player to score. Stuff that does not show up on the stat sheet. Herb Jones, again, and like what Jalen Williams said, he said if you ask other players who is the best defender in the league, a lot of them are going to say Herb Jones. Although he's not up there in steals and blocks per game, because again, it's more than that, bro. But yeah, in my opinion, I do believe the NBA should start giving out, should really start implementing that all defensive third team. And with the all NBA teams being positionless now, as we know, last season was the first time they have the all teams be positionless. Before, the all teams used to have 2 guards, 2 forwards, and the center. Although I actually preferred that method of the positions, I could kind of see why Jalen Williams, and pretty much why the NBA already did implement this positionless, quote unquote, all teams. But especially with the way basketball is played now in the NBA. But yeah, this was really, really interesting. In my opinion, they should just keep one Defensive Player of the Year award. Or possibly, if they want, it would be cool if they implement having a front court and the back court defensive player of the year award, or 2 separate defensive player of the year awards, one for an Eastern Conference player or Western Conference player. But yeah, he really did raise a great point that I always talk about. People in the mainstream basketball media do not talk about perimeter defenders. They don't get enough credit, man. But I got Jalen Williams for sure making the all-first defensive team, man. Great defender. I really think Wemby is going to win it this year. He should. But again, it's not because Wemby accumulates a lot of blocks. If y'all see how Wemby guards, man, like the way he defends, it's insane. His length, he really is just look at that. Look at the stat right here. Toughest players in the NBA to shoot over. He's up there. The guy's real great defensively, man. Yeah, I definitely rock with Jalen Williams, and I definitely see what he was saying there. But I wanted to talk about another thing. I wanted to bring up was how sometimes the NBA gets defensive player of the year were voting wrong within the last couple of seasons, and that Marcus Smart voting when they voted for him to be defensive player of the year was crazy. I'm not even gonna lie, because that year Marcus Smart, he was one of the best defenders, but he really wasn't the best defensive player in the NBA that season. To me, that season it should have been Jrue Holiday, the year he won defensive player of the year. But it was because the Boston Celtics in 2022 were just such a great defensive team, and he just happened to be the best defensive player on the Celtics that year. That's the only reason why he won it. But I'm not hating. I kind of was happy because I want to see more perimeter players get Defensive Player of the Year awards. So, as we see, there's only been 8 perimeter players who have won the Defensive Player of the Year award. Alvin Robertson, Michael Cooper, Michael Jordan, Gary Payton, Ron Artest, Kawhi Leonard, Marcus Smart. Gary Payton and Marcus Smart are the only 2 point guards to ever win the award. So, again, it is an award that really goes to centers. And look at this stat right here, as you see on the screen. Centers have won the most Defensive Player of the Year awards. 27 centers and 8 forwards. So it mostly goes to the bigger guys. But man, the guards, man, a lot of them are really defending the best players. They're really defending the best players. And we see this article according to Fox Sports. This was an update article, as you see, from yesterday, just a few hours ago. They have Victor Wembanyama number 1 in winning the Defensive Player of the Year award. Look at that. Evan Mobley, Jaren Jackson. That's crazy work. Jalen Williams should be higher. Dyson Daniels should be higher, man. Like, these guys are really defending the best players in the league. Excuse me. Who are these wing and forwards? These wing players. But yeah, these are just my thoughts and opinions. I think the NBA should just keep one Defensive Player of the Year award. But I do like the idea of them implementing an all-third defensive team. But the Defensive Player of the Year award, it kind of reminds me of the NFL MVP award. How, the NFL MVP award always goes to a quarterback, and that's why they implemented the Offensive Player of the Year award in the NFL, because everybody's like, hey, why is it always going to a quarterback? And even now, sometimes it still does go to a quarterback. But that's what I'm saying. I see why Jalen Williams raised that point of having a second Defensive Player of the Year award. Again, if they do, it will be cool if they implemented a, Defensive Player award for a half-court player. For a backcourt player and a front-court player. That would be kind of cool. Because, times do change, and we need to update the awards. Have you seen they implemented a conference player MVP award? So you never know. You just never know. But yeah, you guys give me your thoughts and opinions on this. Do you agree with Jalen Williams that the NBA should implement 2 DPOYs and if they should add it all third defensive team? All right. Thanks for watching. Till next video.